So it's been a couple of weeks since Melody of Memory released on current gen consoles, and since it's been a bit now, I thought it was finally time for me to start making videos on the story content within, as based on a lot of what I've seen you all say in my streams and what I've generally observed around the Kingdom Hearts community, it seems the new story content of the game needs some clarification. There's a lot buried under the surface of what happened in this game's new plot, so much so that I'm starting to feel overwhelmed with all the new theory implications I've got noted for new videos, but no worries, I'm going to unpack everything that really went on in this new segment of Melody of Memory's story. So if you haven't already, subscribe for more intriguing Kingdom Hearts content, as we're on a fast train to 10,000 members of our community, and hitting that milestone will create new opportunities for us. Also, I do have to mention that Square Enix did provide me the game before the game's official release, so much love to them for sponsoring the content made on the game, like this video. And obviously, this video will spoil the story of the game, so if you want to come back after experiencing the story, I recommend you do so. So with that, let's dive right in. Okay, so we know from Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind it's been one whole year since Sora's disappearance at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. His friends throughout the series have been pitching in all to help out finding Sora. While that goes on, Kairi has been in induced sleep for the past year, while the research trio, Evan, Ianzo, and Ansem the Wise, have been combing her mind to find traces that could lead to Sora. With that procedure going on in the outside world, Kairi was able to travel to a version of the final world made within her memories. Of course, meaning this isn't the actual final world we witnessed in Kingdom Hearts 3. Being a world built from her memories, some of her repressed experiences as a child began to resurface, such as her attempted escape of a researcher who we know to be Xehanort possessing Terra's body, who had been conducting human experimentation on her, and his actions to send her to a world that contains a Keyblade wielder, thus leading him to it. He explains that because their world will be plunged into darkness soon, this is the only way they can save their world. But he then states that if she were to arrive in a world that's neither of light nor darkness, but somewhere on the other side, her task will be far from easy, and that if that happens, she should abandon her search as their mission has failed. Which of course we know didn't end up being the case, as Kairi did end up washing ashore on the Destiny Islands, where it eventually holds two Keyblade wielders, one who even already participated in the ritual to receive one. But right there also holds another truth, that many I've seen in the community deny is possible, that being the ark that Kairi was put inside has the ability to send people not only to different times, but to a different universe entirely. Don't be confused as to think this is the same as the other realities in our normal universe that contain the realm of light, the realm of darkness, the realm of the Unchained, and more. This is an entirely new construct that we will talk more in depth about later. Shortly after Kairi explores deeper within her memory-built final world, she encounters a black-cloaked man who turns out to be Master Xehanort. And I should mention here too that this isn't actually Xehanort. He died at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 as we saw him and Ericus ascend to the heavens in the end. This Master Xehanort is a recreation of Kairi's fears of him, as this is the man who has toyed with her fate for her entire life. As a child, he experimented on her. As an early teen, he led her to lose her body and be trapped within Sora. Later on, he had her kidnapped by his organization. Even later on, he essentially killed her just to send Sora into a rage. This man has been a constant in her life that she's never been able to personally overcome, so it makes perfect sense that he would be here. Nonetheless, Kairi engages into combat with him. As the two fight, Xehanort shows that he knows why Kairi is here, but tells her there's nothing to find here and that the answers she seeks lies within memories long gone. And when he's set to deal the final blow, Kairi then seems to turn into Sora to fight Xehanort. As Xehanort says that's just as he thought, Sora's voice can't actually reach them here, but that just solidifies he knows where Sora's heart lies. With this, I know I should clarify this, as I know I saw a lot of people not get this. Even I was kind of shook when I first saw it, but here's why this happened. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora and Kairi knew that this war could go either way, and something may happen to them, so in defense of that result, they shared a Palpu fruit with each other. As teased in the very first game, those who share a Palpu fruit together will essentially always be in each other's lives, and a piece of them will always live within the other's heart. So as Kairi was about to take a mortal blow within her mental realm, the piece of Sora that lives within Kairi took over to defend her. Though Sora is not in this realm anymore, the piece of him that is took this form. That's why his voice couldn't reach, but everything else could. After the fight, Xehanort takes many forms and reminds her of what he told her long ago as a child, about a world that has neither light nor darkness, as he fades away. Shortly after, it immediately cuts to the research trio talking with the now awakened Kairi about what she may have experienced in her mind. Ansem the Wise then ponders what Xehanort's words may have meant, as he comes to the conclusion that the other side that Xehanort mentions is an unreality and is fiction. Okay. This here was the biggest reason I wanted to make this video in the first place, as there's a ton of confusion of what they really meant by unreality and world of fiction. So in order to get what unreality is, you have to remember what reality is. Reality is the universe itself and its state of being as they actually exist to the people within it. Like you and me, for example, live within reality. However, unreality is more complex, as unreality exists in all things outside of our point of view, such as video games. The world within the games are an unreality to us, as they don't always follow the laws of our universe, which essentially means anything outside of your reality is an unreality, which in turn can also just be simplified to be called fiction. It being normal for people to summon giant keys and being best buds with 80 to 90-year-old cartoon characters is simply fiction to us. But in Kingdom Hearts, that's simply reality. This is the answer Xehanort was trying to give Kairi, as it seems Sora was sent to a universe of unreality, which is why his voice could not reach them. Then, as Riku and the fairy godmother enter the scene, she explains how they need 3 keys to find Sora, those keys being Riku's dreams and Kairi's memories and one other. Riku explains that he's been dreaming of a large city with tall buildings, which the research trio believes to be within this unreality. But as they need one more key, they waste no time and the fairy godmother teleports them to the final world and introduces them to who we met as Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3, the Nameless Star. It turns out the Nameless Star is from the universe of unreality, but her form was taken and made her way there somehow. But in order to fulfill her dream of getting back to her normal form, they need a pathway made by her to get to her world, as Riku can use the power of waking to get there. Riku explains the city he saw within his dream to the star, as they believe that this is where Sora actually is. She then tells them that by the description she was given, the city sounds like one she knows of called Quadratum. Of course, that making Quadratum a city that exists within the universe of unreality and not the name of unreality itself. And with that, the portal to Quadratum has been made. Kairi wishes to join Riku, but she needs to finish her training first, which will be under the tutelage of Master Aqua. As the post-credit cutscene continues to play, Master Yen Sid explains how long ago during his time as a Keyblade Master, it was known that the ancient masters crossed over into another world, which may have been the spark that led Xehanort to his research into it. But for now, as we have a decent lead to where Sora is, the search for him must be halted everywhere else and left to Riku, as Kairi finishes her training with Aqua, as I said before, and Mickey will investigate for clues on how Unreality is actually connected to Scala at Kylam and the ancient Keyblade Masters. So visiting Scala will be Mickey's prime objective, as the phrase "an oath to return" Kingdom Hearts comes into view. But with that, I think that's about everything I really wanted to explain. The system of how Unreality exists in comparison to the reality of Kingdom Hearts, how Riku is headed to Quadratum, and how Quadratum does translate to the word square from Latin, which could imply worlds within the universe of Unreality could be based on square properties, and so much more. I know this video had a lot in it. I'm not even sure how long it'll be as I type this out, but nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed this video. In the comments below, let me know what kind of worlds based on Square Enix games you'd love to see in Phase 2 of Kingdom Hearts. I'll try to respond to as many comments as possible, so if you see a comment you like or something you hadn't thought of, let that person know you agree. But if you enjoyed, hit the like button so YouTube will share this video out to more people, and subscribe for more intriguing Kingdom Hearts content, and be sure to share this with a friend, as that way we can have the whole community on one accord. Thanks for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember, my warriors of courage, to stay strong, stay beautiful, and always look skyward.